Have you ever tried to escape your destiny? Not just delay it, not ignore it, but run. With every ounce of strength, with every heartbeat screaming anywhere but there. That's what Jonah did. When God called, he fled. When mercy knocked, he locked the door. When the winds howled, he slept. But you can't outrun God. Because sometimes the very storm you fear is sent to save you. And sometimes the darkness you dread is where grace begins. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a true story of defiance, of descent, of divine compassion. This is the story of Jonah, told like never before. Lego Bible Adventures present Jonah 2025, the Lego Bible Movie. Jonah was no ordinary man. He was a prophet in Israel, loyal, passionate, and fearless. He walked among the people like a lamp in the darkness, shining truth in troubled times. When others cowered in silence, Jonah spoke boldly. When Israel strayed, Jonah stood firm, calling them back to the covenant of their God, and the Lord took notice. One day, the voice of the Almighty came to Jonah with a clear command.
Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh, announce its doom, for their evil has risen before me. Jonah 1:2.
But Nineveh? Nineveh was the capital of Assyria, the scourge of Israel, the land where enemies celebrated the blood of the innocent. A city built on bones, soaked in terror, ruled by cruelty. Jonah's soul recoiled. These were not misguided neighbors. They were murderers of his people. Instead of obeying, Jonah ran. He fled to the port of Joppa and boarded a ship to Tarshish, the farthest edge of the world he could reach. He thought he could sail beyond divine reach. That if he buried the mission, the guilt would fade with the horizon. But he didn't know. There is no sea deep enough, no sky wide enough, no corner dark enough to hide from the God of heaven. At first the voyage seemed calm. The sea whispered. The sky stayed clear. Jonah believed he'd left his burden behind. Then came the storm, a storm unlike any other. Waves towered like mountains. Lightning ripped the heavens. The ship groaned under chaos. The sailors panicked, each crying to their own God. They hurled cargo overboard, desperate to survive. But Jonah was asleep deep in the ship's hold. The captain found him.
Wake up, sleeper! Pray to your God, maybe he will spare us.
The crew cast lots to find the guilty. The lot fell on Jonah. He stood and confessed,
I am a Hebrew. I worship the Lord, maker of sea and land, but I am fleeing from him.
What should we do to stop this storm?
Throw me in. Only then will it cease. This storm is because of me.
They tried to row back, but the waves rose higher. At last, they lifted Jonah and threw him into the sea. In an instant, the sea stilled. The wind died. Silence fell. Jonah sank, deeper and deeper, until light vanished. From the depths, a massive fish swallowed him whole. Inside the belly, there was no light, only darkness, only isolation, only reflection.
I called to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me.
3 days, 3 nights, a prayer from the pit of the earth. Jonah realized, you cannot flee the call of God. You cannot outrun mercy. Then the fish vomited Jonah onto dry land. Sputtering and gasping, Jonah lay exhausted but alive. And then he heard the voice again, go to Nineveh. Jonah entered Nineveh. a city swelling with pride and injustice. He shouted in the streets,
40 days! 40 days and Nineveh will be overthrown!
At first they mocked him, but the message spread. Whispers became cries, hearts stirred with fear. The word reached the king. He rose from his throne, removed his royal robe, dressed in sackcloth, sat in ashes.
No one man or beast shall eat or drink. Let everyone cry mightily to God. Turn from evil. Who knows? God may yet relent.
And God saw their hearts. A city once destined for fire now bathed in repentance. God chose mercy. Nineveh was saved. But Jonah stood outside the city, arms crossed.
Isn't this what I said, Lord? That you are gracious, slow to anger, full of compassion?
He had wanted judgment, but God had shown compassion to them. The same people who once bathed Israel in blood were now forgiven. Jonah turned away, wounded by mercy. He didn't yet see. The greatest miracle in this story wasn't the fish. It was the transformation of a wicked city. Because one man finally obeyed. Jonah sat alone outside the city, waiting, hoping Nineveh would fall. But God watched Jonah. He caused a leafy plant to grow overnight. It gave Jonah shade and comfort. The next morning, a worm came. The plant withered. The shade vanished. Jonah cried out in despair. God spoke,
You grieve over a plant you did not grow, yet you show no compassion for a city of 120,000 souls.
Jonah's anger was human, but God's mercy was divine. Jonah had run from grace, and still it had found him. Salvation isn't only for the righteous, it's for the repentant, even when they wear the face of an enemy. Jonah thought the story was about justice, but God showed him it was about grace. From the shores of rebellion to the silence outside Nineveh, Jonah's journey revealed God's mercy is not earned. It is given to the wounded, to the wicked, to the undeserving. Jonah obeyed, but still had to learn. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's heaven's greatest strength. God calls us to rise above bitterness, to extend the same mercy we have received. Maybe you've run, held on to pain, clung to judgment, or wondered how God could forgive someone else, or even you. There is no mistake too great, no enemy too far gone. When hearts turn, heaven listens. If this story touched your spirit, tell us in the comments. What giants have you faced? What storms led you back to your calling? Don't forget to subscribe. Every Lego Bible story holds a piece of the divine puzzle, and the next one might be the piece your heart needs most.
I am Noah, servant of the Most High. This is the ark he told me to build, and that is the flood he warned me about. Every ways beneath these waters there was life once, but it rotted. Men's hearts turned to evil until God said it would end. Hold on tight! Keep the doors sealed! I remember my sons, Shem making sure our food would last, Ham sealing the gates, Japheth fighting the wind, wife, steady as ever, guiding our daughters-in-law through the storm. We were all chosen to live, not because we were greater than others, but because we obeyed. But to understand why we were here, you must see what happened before the first drop fell.
Lego Bible Adventures proudly presents the movie Noah's Ark. 120 years earlier.
In the days before the flood, the earth looked alive and full of promise. But beneath the beauty, men's hearts were rotting. They had no fear of God. They traded in lies and laughed at cruelty.
Please, sir, I only need a little to live through the night.
Get out of the way, old rat.
Leave him be. He's done you no harm.
Mind your own business, Noah, or you'll regret it.
I will not stand by and watch injustice.
Next time, watch your mouth.
I'm sorry. This is all my fault. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just can't stand those people.
This was the world I lived in, the land of my fathers, the land of Seth. Once it called on the name of the Lord. Now, it only called for more blood. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth.
The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Why me, Lord? I am just a man.
Because judgment comes like the storm, and only those who heed my voice will stand. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with pitch.
did not understand. Why me? But I knew the voice that spoke. It was the same voice that spoke to my fathers, the God of Seth. He showed me the wood, the place, the task, and the 120 years left to mankind.
What madness is this, Noah? Building a ship in the middle of the plain?
I gave no answer. How could they understand what they refused to see? I obeyed, for the God who commands the storm also carries his own through it. Day after day of hard work, my ark was nearly complete. Every beam set, every seam sealed with pitch. The time was almost here.
Still waiting for the rain, Noah? Perhaps your God forgot.
They laughed as if the sun would always rise for them, as if the ground beneath their feet would never give way. Potentials. I had no words left for them. My warning had become their entertainment.
Hey, Noah! Will your big boat stop this?
Then it began. 7 by 7 for the clean animals and birds, and 2 by 2 for the unclean. Every creature with the breath of life entered the ark. It was as if the Lord was calling them. None turned aside, none fought for the lead.
See that? They're not hunting for us.
Fear left them. Hunger left them. Only obedience remained. They came from mountains and valleys, from forests and deserts, all led by the same unseen hand.
They're not afraid.
I wished that the boy's heart would follow as easily as theirs. 2 by 2 for the unclean, 7 by 7 for the clean. Every creature with the breath of life entered the ark. The earth was giving up its guests, but not its masters. They saw the sign, and yet they chose to stay. But still, they would not follow. so, the door soon would close. The ark stood ready. Every beast had entered, clean and unclean alike, just as the Lord commanded. And now, it was our turn. I remember leading them. My wife beside me, our sons guiding their wives up the ramp. The storm had not yet broken in full, but the wind carried the taste of what was coming. For 7 days the door had stood open. 7 days for men to choose life, but only the creatures obeyed. And then in the distance, chaos started erupting. I knew him. Years ago, he had laughed at my warning. Now he fought the current with his child held high, calling my name. However, the Lord shut us in. A single drop of rain fell into my hand, warm as my own tears. The fountains of the great deep broke open. And the windows of heaven poured forth. Hold on! Take my hand! I almost had it. Almost. Still see their faces, the terror, the pleading, and then the emptiness when they were gone. just like that, we were safe. But safety felt like sorrow. And so the first day of the flood began, with the end of everything we knew. For 150 days, the waters held us. The world we knew was gone. And then, the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. First, I sent out a raven. It flew back and forth over the waters, searching for land, and brought nothing back. However, when I sent out a dove, it returned with an olive leaf in its beak. Then I knew the waters had receded from the earth. With my wife, my sons, and their wives, we stepped onto a new earth. Before we built shelter, before we searched for food, I knew what must be done first. I built an altar to the Lord, and He spoke to our heart.
Never again will I curse the ground because of humans. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. This is my covenant with you and every living creature.
Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth.
In the end, the ark came to rest, the waters were gone, and life began again. Noah built an altar, and the Lord made a covenant, not just with Noah, but with every living creature on earth. And God said, "Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth." Genesis 9:11. The rainbow in the sky became the sign of that promise, a reminder that even after judgment, God's mercy remains. But the story of the flood is not just about the past. It's a warning and an invitation. The door of the ark was once open for anyone to enter, yet only a few stepped inside. If the door were open today, would you walk through it? Let us know your answer in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to LEGO Bible Adventures for more powerful visual Bible stories. See you in our next adventures.